All right, and we are now live. Hi, I am Kara858, and today we'll be playing D&D It's Our World, Episode 9. It feels good to be back. It feels good to see all of you in chat. Um, of course, here at the Cookout, we always like to give love and support to different individuals in the community, different channels, different individuals out there. So if you can, perhaps give some of these individuals a follow and support them on their endeavors. The first person we would like to give a shout out for is Initial Roll. For those who don't know, Initial Roll is a brand new TTRPG channel that is doing D&D content. One of our good friends, Ursa Ringer, is actually a player in that game who plays as a halfling, has fantastic characteristics, a little spunk to him, and the entire D&D complex is just great. You just have to get used to puzzles. They do a lot of puzzles, so be prepared for that. They literally just did Sudoku like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So yes, if you enjoyed that content, definitely give Initial Roll some support. They just recently made affiliate, so congratulations to them, and hopefully you see more and more success as time progresses. So yeah, so Initial Roll definitely can give them a follow. And the next person we'd like to give a shout out for is a good friend of mine named Mark Effect. Mark Effect was one of the first individuals I met when I played D&D. I met him actually in a place called Game Empire, and we've been great friends since. We did D&D together, mostly in person, but he just recently started his own Twitch channel. He has fantastic gaming skills, and he's super charismatic. His channel has been blowing up recently, so definitely if you can, excuse me, give him some support and follow him on their endeavors. And the last person we'd like to give a shout out for is a good friend of mine. Her name is Rosebell Arts. She was actually one of my first friends here on Twitch. When I first was joining on, I was a big fan of this game called A Plague Tale Innocence. She was playing that game. We connected over there, and then literally the next day, she would start doing artwork. I was like, oh, an art streamer. And during that time frame, she was just like, I think around 20 or 30 viewers. I think she recently became affiliate, but she was still trying to raise. And now she's blew up into a partner and receiving all types of success. And she deserves everything that she gets. A fantastic individual overall, especially if you like anime with ladies and what she calls tibbies. Definitely give her a follow and support on their endeavors. So, with that said, we're going ahead now and introduce the cast. As always, we like to start from top. So first, Nezra, would you like to talk a little bit about yourself? Plug any social medias, any projects you may be working on.
Hey, I'm Aaron. I play Nezra. Gosh, it's been so long. I've forgotten what I do here. You can find me at Wanderer Text on uh, Discord and Twitter, and I'm point one not in the chat here on Twitch. But I don't have anything to plug. I'm just really excited to play again.
Yes, same here. We were super excited off stream. We were like, everybody was hyper. Like, even I have ADHD and the medication couldn't keep it back just because it was great seeing everybody again. Next person we'd like to introduce is our good friend Ree. Ree, you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, any projects you're working on, and your social media.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am at Big Dude Ree on Twitter, where you can find random thoughts of the day. And I'm super excited to play here today. So let's hopefully we all walk away fine.
That's always a plus. We'll go ahead and work our way down to the bottom. Serena, if you'd like to talk, Mibsy, if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, any projects you're working on, and your social media.
Hi everybody, my name is Mimsy. I'm from Oregon, whichever you prefer. You can find me on Instagram at Peachy Keen Arts. I've started compiling some stuff together for a art portfolio so I can start taking commissions.
Oh,
right. So getting that ready. But that's about it for me.
If you'd like to see some of Mimsy's art, you could join our Discord. She was recently just posted, I think it was a druid character, as well as was like a frog that your boyfriend drew on top. That frog looked awesome.
Little unifrog son.
Yes. Yeah, so Mimsy is a fantastic artist, so yeah, definitely give her some support. Next we got is our DM, Fell Flames. Go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself, social medias and projects you're working on.
narrator voice to Re, and everything was not fine. You can follow me on Twitter at the Halo Musings. I'm working on some writing stuff and planning for my next big project at the moment. So
Excellent. And last
that's
but
what I'm up to.
oh, my apologies.
Oh, you good.
Last but certainly not least, we have Achilles. I've been plugging Achilles, the Bear Pen Twitter for like the past week. We'll be playing, well, not past week, 2 weeks playing Miles Morales. But we'll leave Achilles go ahead and talk about his great content coming up.
Hey guys, I'm Adrian. I play Achilles, the lovable Asmar fighter wizard, and I do run the channel here on Twitch and YouTube. It is called the Bear Pen. So we are having a whole bunch of content coming out soon. We have a Vampire the Masquerade game, which 2 of our lovely people in this game are going to be in. We have a D&D game, which I don't think any of you guys are in, although somebody else is. But anyway, that's coming there. A couple of other things, but I actually just wanted to use this moment to tell people to follow this amazing artist on Twitter. She goes by the name Mona Robot, Monarobot. She does a lot of like Mesoamerican inspired artwork. And it's almost like Mayan glyphs and stuff, which she turns into artwork. So there is, she does a whole Pokemon series where she takes Pokemon and she sort of like Mayanifies them. It's really fantastic. But if you check out her Twitter at the moment, you can see that she is actually, like a lot of people, being affected by COVID right now and sort of really needs help paying rent. So food, rent. If she has a Patreon, she does dope artwork. So check her out on Twitter, check out her artwork, support her if you can. I would, but I currently this month have been supported by some wonderful people as well because, you know, hashtag COVID. Yeah, just check her out, please, because her artwork is wonderful. It's just great to see her stuff. That's all I have to say today.
Awesome. Perhaps when we go on a break, I could be able to get the links to her content, and then I can post it in chat for the second half, so people could be able to support her endeavors. Great. As for myself, I am Kara858. For those who don't know, I was getting back onto the swing of things. I got my PS5 in, and we enjoyed Miles Morales. Like I said, I'm not going to get started on that. It was still my favorite game in 2020, but if I start going into that game, we'll be spending half of the time me talking about a particular character. I'll just leave that alone. With that said, starting next week, we're going to be getting back to the ball of things. Mondays and Wednesdays, our art streams are going to be back up. So I'll be working back on the My Hero Academia art pieces, as well as our first comic book for Snowstorm Comics. So I'm looking forward to displaying some of the content there. You all will be able to see. It's about time I finally have this ready to be unveiled and unwrapped. So super excited about that. And Tuesdays, we playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I just recently purchased that game, and I wanted to give that a shot. And I was like, might as well play with everybody else. So that's what's coming up on the channel here starting from next week. And then even with that starting either from this month or next month, we even have more possible content coming along the way. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and show our intro finally. You know, again, we haven't seen this for a while. We're going to show our intro for It's Our World, episode 9. And transition.
No, I'm not really
All
like
right,
that.
and we're now back. All right, so we're starting off with Fell Flames. Fell Flames, take it away.
So last our party left off, they had been chasing a poor nobleman boy who potentially is also up to something that they would disagree with. After firing a catapult spell at him and giving chase, unsure if they had actually dealt any damage. They were unable to locate him in the city streets. He unfortunately is more familiar with the area and used that advantage to lose them. And I believe they were just about to have a conversation about what to do next.
Gang, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I might have wet the bed there a little bit by throwing that thing at his face. I was a bit spooked. They shot Catherine. It's one of those things. But I apologize. Like, it might have been a little bit premature of me, like.
Well, it is fine. Though it is unconcerning that we appear to be being watched, though, well, it isn't exactly surprising. Did you all learn anything from your visit to the manor?
Yes. Not good news, I'm afraid. Do we want to talk about it here? And I think we're just standing in the middle of the street.
You're nearby woods somewhere, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we will go off the beaten path to an area that isn't, like in the middle of everywhere.
Do you think we should maybe head up to? I know you lads have just come up from there, but maybe we could head up to Durango's place. Like, if it would be safe. I understand it's closer to the potentially homicidal dragons and all, but he seemed to be a fairly competent fella, the way you guys described him.
We could. I don't know about, imposing upon a person twice, but perhaps it'd be smarter to go someplace where it'd be a little harder to watch us, or at least harder to be unseen.
Well, I think we do need to have a chat before we decide where we're going. So if we could just come over here for a bit and kind of just get a little bit further away, I'm going to go ahead and burn another 3rd level spell slot to recast See Invisibility, which will last for an hour. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for invisible folk that might be watching us. I think it also would show me like sensors and stuff for scry and that kind of thing.
I will also be watching, but with regular people eyes.
To be fair, your regular people eyes are probably a lot better than mine. Okay, so the bad news is when we went to House Myrna, there were guards everywhere. We were not able to get close enough. In fact, Achilles sent Catherine to go look in the vicinity, and she was attacked by some archers. Again, not good. A guard followed us basically a little ways away and told us that she had been taken in for crap. I gotta find the correct notebook I have. Which High Lord was it that has her? Because there are 3. Which one has her?
Was it? I have 2 names, but I don't.
It's like the High Lord of Business, whatever that one is.
I believe the guards said that the house had been seized by the High Lord of Business, right? We didn't quite get a look if anyone is still inside or not. So I would hazard a guess either your Lady Celia is still there and they're kind of waiting for Daniel and Elia to make their way back, or it's quite possible she's been kept in a dungeon somewhere.
I would guess that in either case she is held captive,
Aye.
and we were unable to directly ascertain. We also had a little bit of a conversation with the daughter of. I don't have the right notes next to me. 1 second.
One of the High Lords, wasn't he?
Yeah.
She was very insufferable, but a blabbermouth, so that was good.
Well,
Although
the
ice cream was out of this world. Have you ever had iced cream, fellas?
it was quite good.
Honestly,
I can't say I have.
I didn't know it was a thing. Like how do you ice cream? But apparently, it just takes a little bit of magic and the things people do.
Well, maybe slightly more specific is the young boy who was chasing us. I only caught just a glimpse as we were following him. I think that he was with her, like one of her bodyguards. It was Marvinold's daughter. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Did you say they shot Catherine with
They did. I mean, it's, people would swear you never see a fox running around a city. You just have to shoot it or something. It was quite rude of them, wasn't it, Catherine?
I think what we decided was that they were shooting indiscriminately more than anything.
Well, I took it personally.
That is very undisciplined. So we don't know exactly where the lady of the manor is at the moment, but they are watching.
Do
Do
you want me to sneak inside? I could probably sneak inside.
I honestly don't think that's the best thing at the moment.
I'd rather know one person go by themselves. I mean, Catherine is quite small and just an animal. No offense, Catherine. So, like, the fact that they took this kind of reaction to her would indicate that, like, they're using deadly force and asking questions when they can't.
I had an idea, like, if we could potentially try find out where there's more of a, shall we say, underground element of the city. I had the idea I might go and chat with the lovely Maria and see if she would know anybody who might be able to help our cause.
Well, what exactly are we trying to do?
Yeah.
Find out where Celia might be, or, I mean, that's one thing. The other thing is potentially find a way that we can get everyone out of the city that isn't immediately noticeable.
I'm concerned.
In terms of getting everyone out of the city, I think the best course of action would be to go now.
Aye.
So I'm concerned the longer we hang around.
But what if she's still there? We'll be leaving her alone.
Oh, no. We're not going to leave Celia, but I think that we should get everyone who is not going to stay in the city out first.
Not that I wouldn't like to help you,
Mm-hmm.
Harry starts to say,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it probably will be easier for you all if I get these two to safety.
Yes.
Given Daniel's only recently recovered, he's not as martially trained as I have been my entire life. Probably safer if we make our way out of here. Do you have some sort of place that might be appropriate for a rendezvous later? Somewhere you'll want to go?
My family's farm. It's on the way to, I believe, where we were headed.
I was going to recommend the Crossroads.
I think my family's farm is a little bit before the Crossroads, or after?
I've never been to your family's
I feel like it was like a little bit
after. Yeah,
it was after.
Past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Crossroads is probably a good place to start, but I do need to see my family on our way to the city whose name I am looking for on the Roll20 map right now.
I would also like to keep a car out of the city for as long as possible. It appears these people are definitely taking dragons. While we were with Duranga, he told us he had visitors who were, let's say, in a unique position.
They
as
were
a
dragons.
bit aware.
They were browse
Oh.
dragons. They were really cool.
They were, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that their bond between rider and dragon isn't exactly consensual.
No. It's the opposite.
That's what I figured. Like, it's horrible to know that that's actually the case.
So
Well,
it's
if you can-
Cecilia's up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Cecilia's up there in the mountain, but they're surrounded by dragons and armies, and Duraga says we're probably not strong enough to fight them yet. So they said we should wait till we get stronger and get a bigger army. I want to try to call Mom. Maybe Mom might know, but it's rough because she's probably being changed as we speak. I don't want her to be converted.
So your cousin is on top of the mountain right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where do we go first?
They said we should go now because we're not strong enough. They said we have to wait until we get stronger and get a bigger army.
Let's have to back up just a little bit there, Ikara. Do we need an army to help your cousin?
Mm-hmm. Because they have ancient dragon.
Well, an army or a crack team that might have the necessary magics to break said control, but I don't know what that would be.
Don't
really.
either.
Know many people other than that one guy that we met at the city?
Aye. Now, after the crossroads, like, were we thinking of Versalia or Brisbane?
Honestly, I was not thinking of going further that way, so I was thinking of going to the crossroads.
Aye, that's on the way, like.
I'm sorry, that was my end goal, was to get to the crossroads.
Oh, all right. I was
Because-
thinking more along the lines of getting them as far away from Empire territory as possible.
Zach, am I remembering correctly that we were specifically told our friend, the captain, who was missing from the crossroads, was connected? Okay. Yeah. So, no, my thoughts are if there is already an element of people who are, shall we say, concerned with how things are operating at present, it would be good to connect with them.
I believe Marginal might have some thoughts about it for sure.
I think that would be wise if there is a group of people already facing these individuals, then perhaps combining our resources would be best. Though I would also state it may be a wise idea to visit that library again, the one in the Lost City. Perhaps they know a bit more about draconic binding magic.
I mean, I would also like to go back to the city. I just don't know if it'll be open to us.
That's true.
That's a fair point.
Ikara
Can I make
pauses
a
for
quick
a
perception
second.
check?
Oh. Ikara pauses for a second, then he looks up at Nuvian and then he says, Nuvian, do you think the person was following us because I'm a dragon?
It is possible.
Should I put on my hood? I can't hide my tail
No. There is no need to hide who you are, Ikara. The fact that they were watching means they do not feel confident in taking us on directly. So as long as we keep moving, we should be fine.
I agree.
Okay.
So, Lady Celia, Daniel, Elia, Harry, what would you like us to do? Would the three of you like to try and make your way onto the crossroads as you suggested, while we try and find your mother, like, or ...
I think it's a bit better if we go on our way so that you only have one group of my family members to worry about. If we know we can be safe, or at least safer there, we can wait for you there and reconvene. Perhaps we can help you track down this person you were looking for, the commander.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wait.
he
Maybe if
knows.
we go on ahead, we can figure out where exactly he's gotten off to.
Do you have like any like secret passageway or like sewer entrance or something inside your house that maybe we can sneak inside?
Good thinking.
Oh,
Lord.
actually, you know what? There's, well, okay, noble people tend to be rather rude, fortunately.
Oh,
So
don't I know it?
there's
I'm
a
gonna
servant.
start.
There's a servant's entrance that they're probably not guarding as heavily, if they are guarding it, in the back corner of the estate. If you can make your way back there, you should be able to have an easier time sneaking onto the property. Now, the house will definitely still be guarded, but if you wanted to sneak up on them, that would be the best way to do it.
I had another thought, like, if, well, we've already been followed, but did we want to, perchance, I don't know, dress all in like dark clothing or something and cover our faces? And I mean, it doesn't make much difference to me anyway, you know, but what I'm saying is, do we want to like try and disguise ourselves a little bit while we go about this business?
But Nuvia said I should have put on my hood.
I'm just talking for the infiltration, lad, not for walking around the city.
Oh,
Never understood the desire to wear dark clothing for sneaking, but if it would work for you all, I see no issue with it.
What time of day is it?
It's a bunch of people in the middle of the day.
It's like 2
DM's
o'clock in
worst
the
question.
afternoon.
and we're dressed in all black. like
Black.
that.
Middle of the day. we're stealthing.
Tracking time across multiple sessions on the same days, difficult. But if I remember correctly, we're around 3 or 4 p.m.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's an advantage to going at dusk or after. So, I mean, I kind of looked down at my clothes and I'm like, I think I'm good.
I mean, yeah, you know, we don't have to.
Although Achilles,
Yeah, maybe just like a cloak or something for you.
yeah, you glow a lot. Well, at least more recently. I would
Thank
say.
you.
I think they
I
enjoy
like his
your
compliments.
appearance.
Sorry, I'm just going to chair this meeting for a little bit. So we've decided that the Murners and Harry are going to head off towards the crossroads. The rest of us are going to do sneaky infiltration at House Murner come about dusk.
I believe
maybe
so.
That's the plan, yes. I don't think it'll work, but that's
So we've got about 3 hours to make sure they get out of the city and that we have whatever supplies we need. Where do you want to go?
Well, I have one suggestion there for Harry and Elia and Daniel. Like, once you get to the crossroads, if we're not there in 3 days, probably something bad has happened. Like,
Okay, I agree, but normally when someone says that, there's like a and then to it, like if we're not back in 3 days, then
I mean,
rally the
then-
troops. If we're not back in 3 days, then look for my ashes to scatter them.
Well, all I can really ask is if I'm not there in 3 days, maybe try and go gently break the news to my mother. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best here, like, but I'm hoping there won't be an end then.
Do we have any goods to return to the Emporium?
We have
No,
apples,
we
don't
can't
we?
I'll be
Emporium?
What was it called?
Oh, the
Is it-
Emporium. Hmm.
I'm just saying it would be a good way for them to have a reason to be going where they're going for their stuff.
Oh,
They're very
right.
nice.
I don't think we've picked up anything yet. Like,
Just saying, like, if we could, that would be lovely.
I mean, I don't know. Where can a person find? Where would a person find something at this time of day? Like, do you know if there are any, I don't know, wyverns or something around that we could quickly hunt?
I don't know if.
You know, that was not the direction I was going with it, but yes, and let's go kill some wyverns.
You all are very confident in
Also-
our abilities.
Nuvian and Ikara. Isn't that like a no?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is it? Oh gosh, I hope I wasn't culturally insensitive now. How do you all feel about wyverns?
Well, they're like us. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend hunting them. Because they just want to be left alone.
Fair enough. I don't know. Are there trolls in the city? I'm at a loss for words.
Always
here.
Go try and find another Bargus. I'm good at finding those.
Okay, sorry, I was not actually suggesting that we go for a hunt right now. I was just saying, like, can you comb through your bag, see if anyone picked up anything interesting in the last few days?
Oh, I shall
Now-
see.
I would never normally suggest a deception, but does it really need to be something that is magical, or do you need something that's plausibly magical, such that
Well, I mean, they signed
we have a
contract.
reason? We have a reason to go.
No, I believe they signed a contract.
Yeah, we were-
Important.
Them too.
No, we have not promised any goods. We promised first look at any goods. So it's absolutely something that we could send and be like, oh, darn, it wasn't valuated. It's anything good. Okay, bye.
That
Does
sounds-
anyone have anything that fits this parameter?
That's true.
Sounds like this is this cross speak that you merchants like to engage in.
Did you just call me a merchant? Gotta come to blows. Remember how we were the anti-murder hobos? That was before you called me a merchant.
Well, Nezra,
Yes.
you did that thing, but now please correct me if Adrian's remembering this incorrectly there. You have caused possible without tracing us before.
No. I've got something that gives you dark vision forever. I mean, for a long distance.
That's what it was. Okay, then retract that statement.
Give me a few more levels. I'll have you covered.
Okay.
Ikara, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
Does it feel like it's coming down or coming up? Would I look up or look down? I'll turn
You would
around.
look up. It's Alaya. She just kind of had moved over while other people were conversing to tap you.
Hi.
Oh.
Mhm.
Would you mind stepping over to the side with me for just a moment?
Sure.
Don't at me.
Ikara,
Mm-hmm.
your brother has a lot of wisdom. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. He's very smart.
But you have some too. You know that as well, don't you?
Kind of.
You
I
know
don't
my
like.
father is a merchant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes they're just trying to make a living. For someone who has been looked upon so harshly and has a brother who's been looked upon even more harshly, perhaps you could convince him to go a bit easier on people.
On the merchants.
Yeah.
Okay. I could talk to him. No worries. Did he make you feel sad?
Not me.
Oh. And I'll look over towards the remaining ones. Do I get a feeling that the merchant comment kind of stunk a little bit? Do I get? Do you need an insight
It
check?
looks like. Yeah, go ahead and roll an insight check.
Okay. I mean, I'm not as good as Nuvia for my win stuff, but I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Let's see what we got.
I love how this has become a thing. And it's
Okay.
hilarious.
15.
I mean, it is what it is. Harry seems pretty unfazed. It does look like Daniel looks like he's deep in thought at the moment.
He looks over to Elia and says, "Okay, I'll do my best. I'll talk to him. Dude, just to make sure. The merchants here, they're nice, but there was one that didn't like dragons. I remember them, but they're like everybody. I'm pretty sure there's nice people and then there's not so nice people." But I'll talk to him. I promise. And then he'll make his way back over to the group. It says, "So we'll need to sneak. Who's good with sneaky besides me?"
Honestly, your best bet to go with you would be Catherine, not me. Like, I mean, as long as she doesn't get shot at by arrows again, she's very light on her feet.
I could keep her in my cloak.
I would appreciate that.
But nobody
And
else.
Achilles actually does take a moment, and he bends down, sort of like picks Catherine up and gives her a little bit of a nuzzle, and then kind of like goes up to I forget your name now, Ikara. Jeez, too many characters running through my head at the moment. Ikara goes up to Ikara and sort of comes down to his eye level and hands over Catherine. Ikara, you take good care of her, right?
I will. Yeah, I'm really
Alright.
fast, so we have nothing to worry about. You'll
I
be safe.
noticed. And one more thing, lad. I know obviously a lot is happening right now, but we will help your cousin. Don't worry about that.
Thank you. He nods, but you can definitely tell, like, a lot of the hope that he had originally after having his conversation with Daraga definitely kind of got chopped in half a bit, because, you know, if all these dragons were saying, it's suicide mission, that's, I mean, he still got work. He still got the work to do.
I'll remind you though, just in case you've forgotten. They said it wasn't time, but they did say when it was time, they would be on your side.
Yes, exactly. They were going to go to the West Coast, I believe it was, to reside for a bit, and then come join us when the time was ready. So he'll look towards the others and says, "Wait, is anybody else sneaky, or just me?"
Sorry, I got very confused about what's going on.
We're choosing people to go into, like, to sneak in.
Oh, then I recommend I go. I'm not sneaky at all, but I can make magical silence and also the ability to see through darkness and shoot things from far away with my mind.
That's very interesting. I happen to know a few little tricks in the art of sneaking. I won't disclose how I know these things, but
Oh, no
if you
worries.
wish, Ikara, I can come with you.
Okay. I mean, thank you. I mean, I was perfectly fine myself, but then it sounds like you guys didn't want me to go by myself. So I was like, okay, who would like to come? But so thank
Well,
you.
I mean, if you don't want me to come, it's
Oh, no.
perfect. You're not gonna hurt my feelings, Ikara.
No, I'm fine with you guys coming. The more people, the better.
And also with Serena and I, we can maybe handle any. We can run interference if there's any issue before we get to the house.
Oh, okay. All right,
We'll be relying on you to get in.
sounds good. I should be able to do it. And then we'll go inside and rescue the lady. And then, wait, what's the exit strategy?
Yes, I do think that needs discussion, especially since, just to go back to our first point, they're leaving, right? And I point towards the Murners and Harry. And they're going back to the crossroads. Do we need to get you? I will turn and look at Harry because he's been the one talking. Do we need to get you to the city gates, or do you think you can manage it? Because frankly, you are probably fine, but the two of you, and I'll point at the two Murners, are wanted.
Do you want to dress in all black?
I don't think we're all going to dress in all black, Ikara. I think that's just for the ones who are sneaking.
Well, I think if perhaps there doesn't seem to be all that many people around here, perhaps if we wait for nightfall, that might help. And then that might help give us some cover as we sneak out of the city. I'm afraid I don't have another plan. The idea of disguises is good, but I don't have anything to make one. Or
Perhaps
really knowledge how.
perhaps have
I
another
am still.
idea.
Sorry, you go first. Like, it's fine.
I perhaps have another idea, though I don't know if everybody's going to be on board with it. So, Nuvian and Achilles, you two have pretty much nothing to do at the moment, right?
I mean, I could be doing several things, but as with regards to this plan, I was thinking more along the lines of keeping a look outside the house to see if anyone else is coming in. But if you have another plot point,
that could be an option. Should everybody shoot me down on this? What if you two caused a ruckus on the other side of the city?
I was going to recommend the same thing. And we could kind of
is
two birds
there
with one
like a
stone.
bar troop around here? Does anybody else hear that? That's just me, inhuman, apologizing for my neighbors.
You want us to? You want us to cause a diversion? Is that correct?
If you want to call it that. I don't know, throw a barrel around, kick a fruit stand. Something to get the guards' attention.
I think we could do something along those lines. Did there happen to be any, when we were there last time, did we see any potentially flammable pieces of grass or trees around?
Certainly could get rid of that
Small
yawning tail.
I'm not going to attack the yawning tail.
There were a few things you could set on fire at the estate if you wanted to.
With like a firebolt?
A firebolt will set a thing on fire, but that will eventually burn out relatively quickly if you're not consistently throwing globules of fire.
It's supposed to be a distraction, not like a like a
I-
raging,
I'll-
out of control inferno.
It will sort of start small like fires, probably enough to set flame to like some small branches. I'll let you decide if that's the type of distraction you're looking for, but that's about what you could accomplish with the spell.
Okay.
Well, I'll be honest. I was thinking of something quite a bit different.
Oh,
I was thinking that Achilles and Nubian could assist Manners and Harry in leaving, and then if they go all the way to the city wall, fine. If they don't, fine. Just getting them far enough that they can come on their own, and then they can use their. I was thinking more of a social approach to this, in which a variety of rumors, hearsay, and reports of issues led guards around the city. Less actual physical destruction, more just giving them busy work so that maybe they have to pull some people off. And then you could circle back and rejoin us for if anything actually kicks off.
I am of the mindset that if I wanted to start rumors, again, I know I keep coming back to this, but there's a very good reason. Like, I think seeing our girl Maria at the Yawning Tail might be the best way to go about a lot of things right now.
Zach, would they pass by that area in order to get out of the city? It's too central, or is it nearish?
I mean, you could. It's not like hugely out of the way, but it's not like, oh, conveniently we're walking right by there.
Right. Well, then maybe you and Nuvian can escort the runners and Harry to part of the way. You can peel off, go speak to Maria, and then meet back up at that ice cream shop around dusk.
Well, if you really have to twist my arm to go back to the ice cream shop, I suppose that might be doable.
It's a nice save point. It's a nice beacon place.
I have no problem escorting our friends here to the gate. Then I suppose an ice cream shop is a problem. That is, what do you think is best?
I mean, I do not propose that we be at the ice cream shop, the three of us. I think that we would already be in position to try and do what we can. But you would be close enough to run interference if things went poorly.
Right.
And so we would wait for dusk and then just go.
Agreed.
Do that.
All in favor, say aye.
I suppose can't burn anything. Hi.
Ikara, what do you think?
Sounds good. I'm not good
Cool.
with plans. I just sneak and hit.
Yeah, this is definitely the most difficult plan I've ever created and or been party to. So it should be fun. I don't see anything going off
I
rails
love it.
at all.
I love it. This is perfect.
All right, so Team House Break-In is going to have to find a way to get around to that servant's quarters in the next 3-ish hours.
We have to have shopping
Okay.
session.
And team break-in is whom all?
Serena, Akara, and Nezra.
Okay. And Achilles, Nubian, and
Murner. Is it
Murners
Murner or
and
the
Mourner?
Murners. Yeah, and the Murners are going past the Yawning Tail and out of the city.
I believe so. We weren't necessarily going to go out of the city ourselves. We were going to escort them there and then maybe head to the Yawning Tail to try and potentially start some rumors or get some information.
Okay, so you're going to not take them with you to the Yawning Tail. You're going to take them out and then come back by the Yawning Tail on the. Okay, all right, and you're waiting for dusk to launch this plan, correct?
Yeah,
We
the
are-
dark one.
Team Break-In is going to start at dusk to try to break in.
Okay. But
I
you
trust
all
Nuvian
to
and
leave
Achilles.
now? Those of you who are escorting them out of the city, are you heading that way now?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
Team break-in shopping trip to buy black clothes now.
Okay. You do see as you're making your way out, no one seems to notice Alaya as you move your way out of, or Daniel rather, as you move your way out of the city. Sorry, brain twisted. But people are watching Alaya as you make your way through the city. No one has spoken to you yet along the journey, but you do notice that she's getting looks.
In Celestial, Nuvian will say, it appears that they are drawing attention.
I'm going to have to rely on you for that, my friend. Our Catherine's with your brother right now. What do you think we can do about it?
I'm afraid there isn't much that we can do about it. If we act too abnormally, they will know something is wrong. But if we take our time, we let them draw people to us.
I have an idea, like Alaya, and I will fall back into lockstep with her. Do you see any convenient little alleyways nearby where we might slip into and potentially you might not be person-sized if you catch my drift?
Right. That's a good idea, but I don't really see any good places. Do you?
Nuvian, again, I'm going to have to rely on you for this. I can't hear out an alleyway, unfortunately.
Achilles just starts chucking rocks, looking for like a bounce that is an alleyway.
That one's empty. The echo sounds as if it's about 5 feet deep.
Yes. Do I see any, even if it's not an alley, like an alcove, a corner, you know?
Yeah, with your passive perception, it's pretty easy. It seems to you like Alaya probably sounded a bit panicked, and isn't thinking clearly at the moment. That is Dungeon Master for she rolled a 1 on her perception check.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's okay. Calm. There's an area coming up on our right. Let's take a half step, so that way you're about a full step behind us, and drop something out of your pocket and step into the alleyway, and we will keep going.
Something small, like a hamster or something that you can fit in the pocket.
Okay. And she does. She drops what looks like some sort of a small pouch, and then goes walking into the alleyway as if to. She kind of like got it in her hand, like tossing it, and then I dropped it in the alleyway, and moves in there to go retrieve it. You all follow her, or?
Nuvian will slow down, and he'll turn to Achilles. If you need to, you can put your hand on my shoulder. That'll help.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm relatively good with being around. I've got a good sense of what's around me, like, but it's just I can't past 10 feet or so. I don't have anything without Catherine.
Understood. And while they're going to stop moving while they're talking, so smaller lady can come back.
She transforms into a parrot, which flies onto Achilles' shoulder and says, 10 feet or so.
That's right, my little avian friend. You've been away all day. I've been looking for you.
for you.
Oh, it is good that you found your friend. Shall we continue?
I think so, yes.
Nuvian will be keeping an eye out on anyone who seems to be paying too much attention to us as we walk.
You see, Nuvian, go ahead and roll me a active perception check. Dun, dun, dun.
25.
Dun,
25.
dun, dun. Okay, so you definitely do notice. He seems a bit confused, but there is a guard that surreptitiously waits for you all to pass. Given that the woman who went into the alleyway does not return. Although he seems perplexed and like he hasn't entirely figured it out. But it does, like, he was actively searching for something. You pick up on this very easily.
Is there only one building?
It appears they are searching for her now, so that has bought us a bit of time.
That's a good thing. Like, do you think we should try and still go casual like, or do we want to try and pick up the speed?
Let's continue moving normally for now.
No. Just for funsies, may I also make a perception check based upon hearing as we go?
Sure.
Because I haven't rolled a single dice today, and they're feeling lonely.
Okay. Give it a toss.
Do it.
Perception hearing check.
It's okay. It's a 14.
You do hear a kid, and then a voice right after that coming from the same area. There's a kid who says, "Wow, is that a parrot?" And then the dad is like, "Yes, that is a bit strange." And he's like, "I'm gonna pet the parrot." And the dad's like, "You definitely just can't go pet a random person's parrot. I mean, you're going to annoy them." Yeah, but it's
So Achilles will just say, "Oh no, you can pet her. Like she's quite lovable."
Wait, really?
I mean, yes, of course. She wouldn't harm a fly. Would you, Liza?
You you feel you feel at tug like on your sleeve. Mister, the parrot's up on your shoulder.
All right, lad. Give me a moment. I'll try to come down a bit. Sorry, but I can't really see. My friend here is helping me get along, but our lovely little Liza here, sometimes she squawks when there's something I'm about to walk into, so she's quite a bit of help.
Wow, the parrot is your eyes?
Well, in a sense, yes, I suppose so. She's a
That's
lovely
so cool.
little being.
And do you lean down so he has a chance to pet the parrot?
I do indeed.
He does go to pet the parrot, and Elia puts up with it for about 3 seconds before she does actually peck him on the hand. And
No.
you hear crying, not like active pain, more than just sort of whining as a kid. You hear the steps proceeding away from you as he's like, "Parrots are mean, Dad. I don't like parrots."
Achilles, as he stands up and he sort of says to himself, I mean, he's not wrong. I don't know why you chose a parrot of all things, Elia. I mean, a parrot? We're like, I don't look like a sailor. I don't. Anyway, it's fine.
Like a sailor.
No, don't agree with me. It's fine.
Right, well, we should continue.
All right, I thought I'd try to keep up appearances and let's go.
Right. Well, and how close are we to the gate?
A few blocks away at this point, so pretty close compared to where you started.
Right. Well, stay close. I have a feeling that if they are going to try and stop us, they will do so just as we get to the gate, or just as you all pass through it.
As you come to the gate, a guard asks you what's your names and how long will you be leaving the city? He's got like a book in his hand.
I go by the name of Jason Fletcher. I was just hoping to take a stroll outside the city. You see, it gets a bit crowded in there. I mostly rely on my hearing, and my friend here is just leading me for a bit of a walk into the woods for a while, sort of clear my mind.
Right, woods for a while. Right, and what about the rest of you?
As I said, I'm guiding him around on a nice walk.
Oh,
And it's a fairly okay day. I thought while we're out there, we might enjoy a nice little picnic or something. Why not?
picnic with what stuff?
We happen to have some good apples, I mean, some rations, some apples.
Oh,
And I prefer to hunt my own food,
okay. And what's your name? He writes down Jason Fletcher.
Doggy and me.
Yeah, he's asking you. What's your name?
Tatus.
Getting the sense of things, everyone else also gives a fake name. And they agree that you all are just headed out for a stroll. So, Nuvian, you notice with your passive perception relatively easily, he writes down all the fake names with 3 hours written next to them. You can see there's some names on the page that a couple of them have already been crossed off. Looks like they're sort of tracking entry and exit.
Right. Well, thank you. I will be on our way. That is all.
All right. And a couple of the guards look over you like they're trying to kind of commit your faces to memory. But they don't stop you as you leave the city.
This is when I wish I had some of those venture skills. You saw nothing.
No, do it again. As they move.
There is a modify memory spell. You just do not have access to it.
So it's the difference between level 1 or like level 7 or 6 spell or something.
Really high level spell.
So you all leave the city, and seemingly they are free and off into the night. How far do you walk out of town with them?
Enough so that it doesn't look suspicious, and then maybe we'll try and enter by the other entrance, if that's a possible thing to do.
It's gonna be a lot, like hours of travel probably to go around the city, but you theoretically could. I mean, it's just like you have to pass along all of the walls to get to
Okay, we'll just try go back in normally, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, it's totally your call. It's up to whether or not you think Achilles would find like an hour of walking to be worth the potential upside.
We'll have a discussion about it.
Yes, it was risky for us to return. It appears they are. Excuse me. It appears they are keeping track of those who enter and exit. Couldn't win.
But we could go back into the other entrance if we needed to. It's just going to take us a few hours to get there.
So that may make us look to be suspicious. Though not returning with the other people traveling with us could also be an issue.
That is true. So probably, unless we wanted to try scale this here wall at some point, maybe The other entrance, it'll take us longer, like we might not be able to get there in time to cause the distraction for the others.
No, we should return through this exit.
All right. We'll hopefully be able to sweet talk him, or maybe there won't be somebody, maybe the same guards won't be there.
So you all lead them a ways out of the city. Eventually, they stop and say, "Well, this is probably far enough, right?"
Agreed. Take care of yourselves.
You as well. We'll see you soon.
We will. And, you know, if... Anyway, we'll see you soon.
Right. And they sort of continue on, which means that we have a heist to switch over and talk about, or at the very least a break-in, which we will get to right after our 10-minute break, which we will do right now.
It was building up to it.
I knew it. I was like, oh
It's
wait.
gonna be glorious. It's gonna be glorious.
Ocean 3. So thank you all so much for coming by. We're going to take our 10-minute break. If you like what you see, you'd like to talk about the experience, or want to talk about our characters, talk to some individuals in the cast, or even give us some fan art, you can join our Discord. I'll put the link here in. Oh, it just showed up. Perfect. Okay. It was do exactly what I was about to do. So you can join our Discord here. We have watch parties normally every Saturday where we watch My Hero Academia as well as other movies and the criteria, and normally on the weekend. And again, like I said, we're always open to talk about It's Our World campaign. So we're going to go on break. We'll see you all in 10 minutes. See you soon. All right. And yep, perfect. We are now back for our second half of It's Our World, episode 9. Looks like the heist is about to begin. Fell Flames, take it away.
All right. So, my heist people, I believe that you all had decided to meet back up at the ice cream shop, correct?
No,
Mm,
we're not going to meet them at the ice cream shop. We're going to wait till dusk until we start, though, so that they will hopefully be at the ice cream shop and close enough to get to us if they need to.
That's where they're going.
Yeah, they are going there. We will be.
Where are you all waiting for some sort of signal?
We are not waiting for a signal.
Where are you waiting? Okay. Haha. Help me here. Where are you guys at? You're going to wait until dusk to do it.
Yeah.
Which is a signal of some sort. Is that the signal that you're using?
I don't
Help me out. What's the plan?
I was not thinking any shopping, but I know that Serena brought it up. And so I don't know if you have places you know in the city that you want to go to. My goal is just by dusk to be in a good position. So like 30 minutes before dusk or so, we will make our way towards the backside of the house where we know the servants' entrance is. But not up to it, but in position to it.
Mhm. Well, the only reason I suggested the shopping was because Ikara wanted us to wear black clothes. I don't know. Does that give us?
You know, dark blue actually works a little better.
Oh, perfect! I'm already dark blue.
I have dark blue pants. And then my jewel. And my hair is kind of dark blue.
But just
And
do you need to buy anything before we go?
No, I'm already pretty sneaky, so whenever we're ready, I could just pew pew pew, and then nobody sees me.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Serena, do you need to buy anything?
I don't believe I do.
I mean, we could go get a couple hundred ball bearings if you need it.
Do you want me to?
Well, I was going to ask. I know that you make things. Did you need to take this time to make anything? Because if so, we can hang out here in this kind of wooded area. Let you do your thing.
Are there any? I guess. Oh, I already have those. I don't think I need to make anything.
No. In that case, I would say we would get as close to that area as we can in broad daylight. So look for. Similarly, we're trying to stay under the radar, but like go to a cafe or something. Kind of what we were trying to do when we were sneaking out of the same place. Get as close as we can so that we are in position to sneak when we get there.
So you are going shopping for clothes?
No.
We're not. We are.
That long dramatic pause.
Oh.
And then, so you're shopping. That was awesome. That was.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm just like lost tonight or or tired or what.
Okay.
Would you like us to go shopping for
I
clothes?
feel like the DM is telling us you are going shopping for clothes.
No,
Regardless of
no.
whether
We
it's-
can. Maybe you run like a really cool shop. I
No,
don't know.
no, I'm not. I'm trying to establish as we did with the other party what you are up to from the moment where they depart you up until dusk, wherein you're now going to go through the back alleyway. We established that sort of whole timeline for them. When they decided to leave the city, they walked for long enough that they would then need to come back and circle around to go to a different entrance in the city, because these walls are like miles, right? We haven't sort of like really established just how big the city is, but they're walking past miles of wall to get to the other entrance. So I'm trying to establish like A to B where you guys are at and what you're doing.
So,
So,
from my understanding, what
Go
we
ahead.
were planning on doing, we were going to go to a cafe or a place of considered low suspicion, close to the area where we would need to sneak in, and then once with dusk hits, that's where we will start to make our way across. We want to be far away enough to where guards will be like, "We remember you," which technically they wouldn't remember me, but they will remember them too. But at least close enough we could be able to go inside. And then once with dusk hits, that's when Ocean 3 begins.
yeah, and because we have like 3 hours, we can actually spend our time like being inconspicuous by like actually wandering and you know what I mean? Like we can take the longest route necessary to do so.
If you want to
Okay,
put
someone
a
go.
Get heal stuff.
All right, folks, that's all we have for tonight.
I retire for the day.
Congratulations on your Fireball TPK.
Woo!
Someone go ahead and give me an investigation check. Any of the three of you.
Where's my good dice?
I know we
There
all.
it is.
I like how both Nezra and I lean back for that because we were like, "Nope, we're wisdom. Nope, we're wisdom."
All right.
Not today.
16 plus
Ooh.
25.
All right, so with your penalty for trying to troll me in the middle of the game,
No!
right? 25. Okay. You are able to locate a cafe, kind of like a more of a pastries place than like a sort of like coffee or tea, sort of like drink style cafe. They've got a lot of like flavored pastries, lots of pear for whatever reason. And you guys set up shop there. Back on the shopping thing, set up shop. Yeah, you all set up shop there, and dusk comes around with no issue.
Can I make a perception check on the people who are in the shop just to make sure that no one is going to be aware of us when we leave?
Sure. Sure, why not?
We're just a bunch of moms taking their son out.
14.
Even two of us have horns.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
What was that number?
14.
14. 1-4. Okay. Doesn't seem like there's anyone in here. No one has really hung out in here since you've been, aside from the people that are obviously working at the shop. No one else has been in here the whole time, so the people have all changed from when you first got there. Plenty of people have came and left in the meantime.
How far are we from where we're trying to go?
I'd say you probably posted up about a block or two away. Enough that you would notice heavy commotion and people screaming fire, but far enough that the buildings stopped being quite such like the frivolous and fancy nature that they set up immediately around the Noble Quarter.
Now, if I remember correctly, when you were describing this the last time we were here, there's no real alleyways or any way to get to the back. So, like, is there another estate we can go around to get in a better position?
So you could definitely try to take the long way. So let me try to see if I can give you a little bit better of a mental picture. There's like the gates that are kind of like fenced in all the way around the estate. At least it looks like all the way around. In the back corner of it, there's like a little house, as well as another separate third building that's like a little shed, and then the main manor house, which obviously takes up like the largest amount of the real estate. Now there are like alleyways, but those alleyways that you pass by are like one is the wall of the business and the other part is the gate. So there's a way to kind of like go around immediately in the home, but that alleyway is on one side is the fence. So anyone inside the manor who was like watching like the snipers that shot at Catherine, they were still able to see people, you know, Catherine trying to come in through the grates on the other side because that other wall of the alleyway is the fence. Now, if you wanted to try to go out of the way, find one of the noble houses that, you know, seemingly has less of a guard presence around it. Although, of course, in the noble quarter, there's going to be guards around, but like less hostile area, I suppose. And then sort of try to sneak and make your way there. You could do that plan as well. It's just those are, I guess, like the two options.
I say we go with
Unless
option
you
B.
have some spell that gives another.
I agree. Long way around.
Okay. You all ready?
Okay.
Ready
Of
as well
course they
have to be.
are.
Someone give me a survival check.
Dibs.
Oh,
Damn.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was
One
like,
of
what?
those I'm good at.
What
That's a
happened?
wisdom. Mm-mm.
That's a wisdom.
Oh hell yeah, 24.
24. Okay, yeah, you.
I've never had a good survival character before. I'm like, yeah.
That
Let me in. Yeah, no, you are able to make your way through there pretty easily. You believe you found the best path. You don't see too many guards, although you do notice a couple of them on the way. They haven't bothered you yet, and you've closed in to about a block away at this point. Just want to give you all a last moment sort of chance to make any preparations before you finish going deep.
Both of you have dark vision, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good dark vision?
Decent, I would say.
What's considered good dark vision?
All right. I mean, let me give you better dark vision. And so, your dark vision now goes to 300 feet.
Oh, this is good dark vision.
Yeah, I would
There's
say
something
so.
new for you. It'll last for the next hour.
I wonder if this is our mom sees. This is really nice.
Yeah, and I will also cast enhance ability on myself for Dex. Yeah, for Dex. Since I am not very stealthy.
Okay.
Clink, clink.
So that's the prep I needed to do.
Okay, as you come up to the back side of the house, let's get those stealth checks.
Yes. Here we go.
It is time.
Time for stealth.
Mm-hmm. Well, now this is my first. This is my second, I think, because I snuck inside that house one time.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this is my first group. Ooh, that's nice. 15 plus 7. 22. Yeah, 15 plus 7, 22.
I just a straight 20. Not nat 20, but
Dirty 20. Uh-oh. No, Nazra, not that face. Not that face. Oh, that's
what did you roll?
So you know when you roll a dice, there's a highest number and there's a lowest number. Terrible.
As you all make your way to the back edge of it to sneak through, the light does not hit you, but one beam that looks like you would a spotlight. I mean, they don't have those in this world, but that's basically what it's shaped like. Lands on the left side of you, and another one lands on the right side of you. They haven't seen you yet, but it's imminent. They're going to.
See
What
who?
are you doing?
Forward or backwards into darkness? Which way can I move?
There is still the gate. You could. There's, I guess, 3 options. You
Okay.
could go backwards and try to sneak like into a neighbor's house, who has a little bit wider gate.
Mhm.
There's the gate in front of you, or fence rather, which is kind of skinny. It's going to be like a tight squeeze to make it through. They obviously don't build them to just allow people to sneak through, especially with your heavy armor. It's going to be tough. 3, there is an actual gate that the servants use so that they could move freely behind the house, but it has a lock on it, so you could try to force or pick your way through that gate and make your way inside.
Servant's Gate.
Servant's Gate. Okay.
How are you doing it?
Well, that's a good question. Because I don't pick locks, so I guess I'm going to
Bacon.
destroy it.
Wait, are we near Nezra?
You're I assume you were all sticking relatively close together.
Yeah. Okay. If she could tell me that, I could pick the lock.
I mean,
Sure.
you're all stuck. You all have these spotlights on either side of you.
Oh, really?
Okay, then yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
no,
you
it's like a crystal beam of light from somewhere that just on either side of you two, your group.
Serena, can you pick it?
Yeah. They're
Is-
certainly try.
Does there look like something that is perhaps up that I can maybe do, like, as Bo would like to say, a monk S, and perhaps do some ninja flips up to like a window or something to stealth in?
If you want to try to parkour through, yeah, 100%. Give it to
Alright.
me. Roll.
Okay. Here we go. Game time. Boop. Ooh, that's an 18. So that is a +7. That is
Okay.
20.
Some very fancy monk
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
As Ikara is like, what? Light? And you all just see this like 3'6" little dragonborn just goes pop, and then he grabs one bar, grabs the other bar a little higher, uses that forward momentum to catapult himself higher, slaps the top of the gate, and somersaults over to the other side.
Here's Serena like, God, I hate that kid sometimes.
What if you teach me? No, but if you can, pick this lock.
Yeah, I can certainly try and pick the lock. Is it gonna be a dex check with them?
Are you proficient with thieves tools?
I am.
Yeah. Go ahead and add your proficiency then. So dex plus proficiency, and then plus whatever you roll.
Roll.
And if you could get another 1, that would be fantastic.
Luckily, I rolled another 16.
Yes.
So it's a 19. Wait, no. Yes.
Yep. You are able to pick the lock. Step 1 complete. You are through the gate.
Just like shove this in.
As you do, you hear another clink, clink, clink.
That's right.
Hey, I have advantage. There's only a clink and then a space and then a clink.
You, my dude, rolled a natural 1.
Click and then space and then
We'll pause and then another click.
click.
It's about half as bad as it normally would be.
It's like there's like a clock tower, and Nezra just tries to move in sync with the clock tower, like ding, click, ding, click.
Oh, no.
Okay. Next. Where is the car? Can we see a car from where we are?
He's pretty hidden, unless he wants to show himself to you.
Okay. That's why I hear them go inside. once I see the lights, because once I see lights, I'm gonna stay completely invisible until those lights disappear. Or as stealth.
They are kind of still scanning the area behind the house, which you all had just left from. I'll
Can
do
you
the
give me
courtesy of assuming you closed the gate after you came through.
Yeah.
So you said there's a smaller house, a shack, and then the larger manor. What doors do I see available to us?
There is a back door that requires crossing some green space, probably like 30, 40 feet worth of green space, to the actual manor house that you can see from where you're at. There is a door into the shed that's pretty close to where you're at, maybe like 5 or 10 feet of green space. And then the side door into the small house is basically right next to you.
Where do we want to go first?
Does it look like the small house is occupied? Like, are there lights on, or I don't know, music coming out or something?
Roll me a perception check.
Should have just took my lumps and put my enhance ability into wisdom.
Yeah, well, yeah, you still got that one.
It would have been that one no matter what I did.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. 17.
You do feel like you can hear muted talking. Sort of tough to make out actual words, but seems like they're having an argument of some sort.
I look at Serena and I'm just like, in fact, I will mind link Serena because we're not talking out loud about this. I'll mind link Serena and say like, okay, so someone is in the small house. Someone's are in the small house. There's a shed, or we could just make a break for the house. I don't like our odds for that, but we can do it. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to go into the small house. Honestly, probably some guards arguing.
Big house or shack? Shed.
Don't know. Maybe we should ask Ikara. He might have a better vantage point.
I can't ask him. I can't see him. I can only mind link with people I can see.
Oh.
Can I like whisper Ikara?
Would I be able to hear that? I have a decent passive.
Like a shout whisper, like not too loud, but like just Ikara.
Would I be able to hear that?
What's your passive perception?
16.
Yeah.
What? Serena? Are you guys okay?
Yeah. Can you like pop your head out real quick?
Ikara will look around, and once he realizes, does he believe it's safe to kind of pop his head out real quick, or does he look like?
Safe is a relative term at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, yes, but the thing is, like, if they started combing the whole area, you guys will just get made. Like, right now they're just kind of looking at the alleyway, trying to find the disturbance. It's going to be really hard to avoid it unless you take up position directly behind one of the houses that can kind of, you know, if you think about like a light beam, if you're hiding with something where the light doesn't wash over you and they don't have line of sight on you, they won't be able to see you. So it's like you could do one of three things at the moment. You can proceed as normal, like it's going to be fine and they're not going to move the spotlights into your area at some point. You could go hide behind the shed and hope that that's enough cover, or hide behind the smaller house, which would be more obviously successful cover.
Okay. So I'm going to point towards the smaller house and say, I'm going to go hide over there. I'll be right back.
What? Where are you going? We can't see you.
Yes, we're following him.
We can't see him. How do you follow someone you can't see?
He said he was going to go to the small house.
He said he pointed and said, "I'm going to go over here." That
Oh.
is not the small house.
Sorry. I meant the small house over there. Okay.
Yeah. I want to try and go around the side of the small house.
Yep. Do it.
Pew, pew, pew.
Are there windows on the outside of the small house?
Yeah. Only one. Well, like, only one that you can see on the back.
And so, can we get to that window without having to pass through lines of sight from the inside?
You can get to that window if you don't stop there or try to duck under it or something. There's would be a line of sight out that window, but there's only one window on the back house. So.
And that window is near where we want to be blocked from the spotlight.
Not necessarily. Being behind the building is probably good enough. Like, if you think about where you're at, even if they shone the light beam on the house, it's not really going to be able to, like, see you back there.
So the window's not on the backside. I understand now. Yeah, duck down underneath it, and then get to the back.
So presumably we all gathered together.
Them too, yes.
Yeah, and like, just because I'm probably not building a very good image, and I haven't stated this, when I say like smaller house, we're still talking like 30 by 40 feet and like 15 feet tall, probably.
Okay.
It's not like when I thought shed and like small house make it more obvious, but like the small house is like 30 by 40 foot, which is small in comparison to the 25 foot tall, 2-floor with an attic, really wide, really broad manor house. But yeah, so.
Okay.
Are you all going to wait here and see if you can wait out the lights entirely? Like until they go away, or give it 5-10 minutes? What's the plan at the moment?
So
If you're waiting around.
Yeah,
Let's
wait
for now.
Mm-hmm.
In 10 minutes or so, we can see if, if things have calmed down, we can proceed.
Okay. And to clarify, we hear the yelling from inside this house, right? Or no?
Yeah, I was wondering if I can get any better.
Who's yelling?
Yeah, who's yelling? Yeah.
You can start to hear a little bit better. That's 3 gold you've taken from me already tonight. Well, you ought to get better at cards then if you don't like losing your money.
Cards?
Hey, what the heck? What? You've won like 12 hands in a row now. You got some cards up those sleeves or what? The argument proceeds.
Cool.
So she's probably not here, right?
Doubt it if they're talking about cards, although what I might see in that game, but...
Okay. So you want to try the big house?
We should try the big
I
game.
think, yes. How's our light situation?
They're still on at the moment, but they are now starting to drift back into the yard.
Where's the light coming from? Like, is it coming from over the manor house or closer to the gate?
Second story, from some windows on the second story.
Okay.
It looks like it originates kind of like from that window point and then broadens out in a cone shape.
Okay. Sorry. Given that description, does that mean that there are areas that it cannot illuminate because of like the structure of that window? Like, for example, could we follow along the outside of the range that it has to get up against the house to where it could not light?
Yeah, so there's like a gap of safety, right? Like behind this house, you're safe because the house is blocking the light from really being able to catch you. You know, right? Like if you think about trigonometry, it just can't get the angle for the person to see you with the light on you. If you got closer to the house, it would be really hard for them to try to like shine it directly down and manipulate it that way. They could, it would just be harder. The space in between is where you're a lot more unsafe because if someone could hear you or something, they could just shine it directly on.
I'm just asking about, are there horizontal bounds because of the window frame itself? Because it's conical, right? So like that would mean that there's an outside edge.
So it's gonna be weird for the situation, but give me like do you have
math roll?
Proficiency in just
Probably
give me
not.
an int check.
Ooh,
Oh,
good luck with that.
I'm the wrong person to ask this question, y'all.
I doubt Soretta could help with this.
Un momento. Accidentally clicked the button to see all of my characters. Oh, well, even with my -1, that is 15.
Decent.
Yes. The issue is if they have other lights on other sides of the house, then those will be able to catch you. And you haven't seen any coming from those. But there is a window on that side of the house.
How
So
long?
it's kind of a judgment call.
How long do each of you want to wait before we decide to just take a break for it? I mean, the lights are getting closer into the yard. We move now. We can maybe skirt around their range and get up to the house, but we have to move very quickly.
I
Or
can
we can
move.
wait it out.
I can move quickly.
I think we
Yes.
need to book it at this point
Okay.
before they start looking around further.
Okay. I want to use whatever window that I just noticed in order to do my best to let Ikara and Serena get as far forward as they can. I will follow, but I'm going to try and follow at a little bit of a distance so that if I get made, I can be the next distraction.
Okay. So you all are making a break for it officially. Give me regular dexterity check.
Okay.
Ikara is like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yep. I'm
The
great
good
with
news
that.
is, because I have advantage, it's a 19.
Oh, nice. I rolled a 16, so that would be 21.
Okay, everybody got their thing? Okay, nat 20.
Yo, we're good. We were booking it. Like I said, Ocean 3 is back. Ocean 3 is back.
Ikara, you're still holding back a little bit, trying to stay quiet, and Serena is like, I'll be quiet and fast. I got this. Let's go.
I was raised on the streets. Let's go.
You honestly, like, it's probably kind of risky, but it works out. So, you know.
I like to imagine there's a moment where Nezra's like, man, I hope they're in front of me because I don't know where either of them are at this point.
Oh my god.
It might just be just about like that, yeah.
Oh crap. So you book it. Do you find a way inside of the house, perhaps, or?
There's the back door, yeah.
Is it open?
No, they did not leave the back door to the house, just open.
Alright, another thief still check. Let's go.
And Ikara will keep an eye out while she's doing that. Go ahead.
Serena,
Yes.
before you do that,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to put a hand on your shoulder
Yes.
and give you guidance.
Yeah.
Thank you. How sweet. Oh, I'm gonna need it.
Uh-oh.
Oh. So that's that's plus that. Then I get to roll D4. That's 17 with all of that. I rolled an 8.
I got some really bad news for you.
No!
The bad news is I'm mad because that's enough.
Oh.
But I wanted some fun. So the good news is the lockpick just sort of boom. With the guidance of Nezra's clerical ability, and you're like, "Yep, see, guys, totally had it." And it's open.
Great. Yep,
So I'm
let's
guessing
go.
we're gonna open the door like Scooby-Doo style, where you just see like heads just like pop. Doop, 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 doop.
Yep. And you hear, Tommy, did you just open a door in the bathroom or something? Where? Go check out and make sure no one's in the house.
Go. No.
Go,
All right, I'm going straight dodge. Where's the layout? I'm going straight into like hiding somewhere. Pew, 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 pew.
There is a closet that's like relatively close to you that you could try to all hide in. There is a like in front of you is kind of like an open hallway. Basically, there's 2 doors off to the right that would lead you into different areas of the house. You don't entirely know where. This is basically like, because it comes in from the servant quarters, this is basically like a hallway where they could walk sort of without disturbing anyone.
All right, in that case, Ikaru's going to go straight to the closet as stealthily as possible. Pew, pew. Slowly open it and close it and try to stealth it through.
Okay, everybody go into the closet.
If we have to.
Yes.
I'm not your boss. You do what you want.
You do what you want.
Half of me does want to use magical tinkering because somebody in the chat keeps talking about it.
Oh, crap. Good time. So you guys go into the closet as well, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, just making sure because in affirmative consent is very important. We need affirmative consent that you are trapping yourself in a closet with 2 other people.
I am giving you enthusiastic consent that I am going inside.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all step into the closet.
I can't believe our DM just told people to go back into the closet. I'm
Very
personally
rude.
kind of offended.
Okay,
But
I
fine.
didn't tell.
I escaped a few years ago and you're putting me back.
I didn't
I
tell
wasn't gonna take that joke. I wasn't gonna do it.
anyone. I didn't tell anyone to do anything.
They voluntarily went back to the closet.
And we had both affirmative and enthusiastic consent.
I didn't know if we were going to talk about it or anything.
Hey,
That has
don't
to
worry
be the
about
tag
it.
name of the
When we come
episode.
out of the closet this time, we're gonna break the door down. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
That has to be the title of the
Raise
episode.
everything.
The DM is gonna kill us, guys. Stop it.
As you hear, no, just embarrass me on the internet. It's fine. As you hear footsteps kind of heading in your direction, you hear a younger sounding voice than the first one is like, "Man, always get the crappy jobs. Go check out the door. Hey, look, it's closed. Of course it's closed. There's nobody in this house. What ridiculousness. He's probably just hearing things, because he's old. Whatever. Man, I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing, playing marbles." And then you hear footsteps start to recede.
If they were my wife,
Lay marbles.
Do I still have the mind link with Nestor, by the way?
and you hear the same voice kind of singing to himself. No, I'm not even gonna make the joke.
Do I still have the mind link up with Nezra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine. So I was gonna talk and say, maybe we should take Tommy out. Sounds like he's miserable here.
Sounds like he's a child.
He doesn't need to be here.
Sorry, when you say take out, because I was
I did
picturing.
it. I thought about it after I said it, and then.
Do you mean remove from the premises or end his life? I just need some clarity.
It sounded more to me like she wants to give him a nice dinner, like take him out on the town.
Those are two
Library
different things.
across town that I'm really tight with, you know? We ought to swing by.
Mm-hmm. That's what she meant. Not kill him.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Oh, sorry, Akara, I don't think you can actually hear that one because I still can't see you.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I
Yeah,
can't
you gotta do
speak over you.
a brain link. Okay. Sorry, my bad. I think at that moment, since everything sounds silent, he's gonna slowly pop his head out very quietly. Does he notice any guards around? It's looking now pretty empty.
It looks like it's pretty empty now.
All right.
Someone's having too much fun in that Twitch chat.
So
I had to let
I would pay for it.
I had to let everyone know what Tommy was saying without breaking copyright.
So Ikara's gonna slowly make his way out, and then he's going to look around for. He knows that. I believe he knows that their room was upstairs, right? Where did we meet the mom at last time? Was it in the living room or was it in her bedroom? Where was it at?
Last time we went through the front door, through the foyer, and there was a little sitting area that had some.
Yeah, we didn't go too far into the house.
Okay, so I'm
We
thinking.
did also meet the butler, so we know that he exists.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
I don't have the right notes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jeeves.
So Jeeves.
Hold on. I will get the butler's name for you.
His
The
name was
butler's
Charles.
The butler's name was Charles.
Charles.
Oh.
Good memory. Good
Yep.
memory. So I think Ikara's.
Well, and Adrian, he remembers that from a story I'll explain after.
Oh, I was like, that not me. So I think Ikara.
Well, I guess it's a pretty short story. I had a zombie that he murdered that was also named Charles.
You murdered.
Absolutely.
I
murdered.
murdered no one.
Yes,
The
hey,
hag
did.
Hey,
murdered him.
I'm in the chair. I control the conversation right now. We'll murder.
Oh man.
Uh,
So
Okay.
Ikara's gonna
You-
make his way, going to try to sneak his way up the stairs because he believes that she's located probably in her room. So he's going to
So
see.
you're trying to go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he's going to try to. He's not going to walk up the stairs though. He's probably going to see because he thinks if he can, parkour up, it probably will be quieter. I think. So he's probably going to use his nimble body to try to make his way up the stairs instead.
Okay. You
So it's kind of like
don't necessarily know how to get to the foyer from here. So do you want to go in the closer door or the further away door to try to make your way in that direction?
Could we-
The closer door would be more like you're still on the back of the house. The other door would be going deeper into the house towards the front.
probably the closer door. So this is still towards the back area.
Okay. You open it up. This is not the door that Tommy had gone back through.
Mhm.
You could tell because kind of it's pretty close to the closet, and you would have heard the door closing. He
Mhm.
must have gone through the other one with your passive perception. You open it up, and it looks like there is a kitchen. And there is a man in here who you recognize to be Butler Charles, whose eyes go completely wide. And standing next to him is a guard with a crossbow on the counter, laying loaded, but not picked up or aimed, and a sword on his belt. And he kind of like whips his head over as the door starts to open. Who's there?
Tommy.
You don't sound like Tommy.
They told me to check out the place because it sounded like the door was open.
Well, if you are Tommy, then I won't shoot you when I get over there. You hear footsteps coming closer.
Okay. And then the minute that he comes close to the door, you pretty much is just going to sucker punch him in the nuts.
Oh.
Well, that's what I call a stunning strike.
Yep, stunning strike because I don't get it at level 5 yet. So
Perfect height, just
yep.
like straight in.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Only Nubian was here to see this.
Yep. He was like, what did he say he was going to shoot her? I was like, oh, okay, somebody must have told you wrong.
Flurry of nuts.
Flurry of blows right to the nuts. So four attacks to the nuts. All right, go for the first one.
I think Kira needs to get some IRL psychic damage because of this.
So the first one was a natural 18, so that is 25, I think. So that's 1d4 plus per 5. This is going to be fire damage straight to the crotch. He ain't never going to have
Fire damage?
Oh yeah, fire damage straight to the nuts.
Bless his heart.
Oh yeah, so that is
He just needs to shave and use the shampoo for a couple of weeks. He'll be fine.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. That is going to be 7 points of damage for the first one. And then, yeah, I'm going to use flurry of blows to attack 2 more times. right in the crotch. Second one. All right, that's a 13. So 13 plus 7, that is a 20. Second attack right here. Also fire damage right to the nuts. That's a 3. 3 plus 5 is 8 points of damage. And then this one is just a Shoryuken. I mean, straight from the nuts all the way up to his chin. So we're going to raise up. That's a 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. Would that hit?
It does.
Okay. Perfect. All right, that's a 4. So 4 plus 5, that's 9 points of damage.
Could you read me that total?
Okay, so it's 9. What was it? 9.
I swear if you kill this man.
7 from nut punches. And then I think the first one was 6. Yeah, so 9, 7, 6. Crap math. 16, 22. 22 points of damage.
This man falls over completely dead. As you launch your flurry of attacks, you can see you've actually burnt a hole enough that you could see his stomach.
Can I spare the dying on him?
You could.
I
God,
would like to.
Kara!
He said he was going to shoot. He said he was going to shoot me.
Serena's like trying really hard not to laugh right now.
He died from nut punches. He got Johnny Caged. He got Johnny
So he's
Caged.
he's still unconscious. He's just stable.
Still alive, just really badly burned.
Should never say he was going to kill him.
The butler Charles looks at you and he's like, "Well, I must say, I was rather pleased to make your acquaintance the first time, although I didn't know I'd be quite this happy to see you again."
Yeah, we're going to get you out of here. Where is your mistress? Is mistress the right word?
Did he say?
He's up under on the second floor. I believe there are 3 or 4 guards in her room. if you don't mind, and he walks over to you
Say you need something, dude.
and picks up the crossbow.
You got it. They're gonna get back. They should never done this to you. We'll go rescue your. What's her name, Mistress
Celia.
Celia?
Mhm.
That's
I worked for
That's fine.
the military for about 12 years until they started to become quite so corrupt. And he,
Like
Oh yes, yes. We got
Yeah.
Alpha. Jeeves is legit. Jeeves is legit. All right. So in that case, do you want to lead the way, or because I'm not sure where it is, or do you want me to lead the way?
he nods.
Okay.
Is there
Yep.
anything else useful in this kitchen?
What sort of things are you looking for? I mean, a kitchen has many useful things.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
for what purpose?
Meat tenderizer for Ikara.
Meat tenderizer.
Wow.
Look, get over! You killed him. You
know-
killed him.
You know, I'm starting to think I don't want to hang out in the kitchen any further. Is there any like oils?
Sure.
I'll take them.
There's like a lantern oil as well as what looks like some sort of probably a cooking oil. You'd
I would
have
like to take
either or
both.
both. Yeah.
Is the fire damage sparked something in Ezra? Is she planning on burning the whole place down?
Oh
She's about to
I
kill up the
think
place.
Nezra might be the only person here that is just not on the board the kill train.
Nezra goes up to Celia and is like, Celia, I'm sorry that the house is lost. It's burning down right now. We gotta get out of here.
Nezra, I can see you with the match in your hand. I don't know what you're talking about.
This kind of cocktail is popular in my hometown. It's fine.
Oh god.
Okay.
So
Oh.
Charles actually walks to the door on the other side, and he's got his hand. Good.
I want to be holding guiding bolt.
Okay. He sort of lets you get an angle where you can see out the door, and he holds up his hand with the number 1. And then he says, guards. And then he turns the knob and pulls quickly, aims, and fires like he knew exactly where the shot was going to be. Go ahead and make me an attack roll with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
He's probably 5 feet,
Cover.
right? Oh, cover? Okay.
Is it? Oh.
The first one was really good. Let's hope the second one is decent.
Really good. Really good.
14.
Well, you hit him. Roll damage.
Yay!
Nice.
If he doesn't go down, Kara is going to pretty much axe kick him right in the jaw.
So it's 16 points of radiant damage.
Phew, that should do it, hopefully.
The good news is both the arrow and the guiding bolt hit him. The bad news is this bolt will be irretrievable because it has been completely splattered and split by a guiding bolt attack.
Oh.
This man is not savable, probably.
So like,
Probably.
they're the die. Oh.
I don't know, Nezra.
You know, I'm starting to really
You can
fear
check.
radiant damage.
You can check, or you could try, but the impact is clearly very, very violent.
Maybe we should leave this one, Nezra.
You know, I have killed more people in the last 3 days, and it's all been guiding bolts. I think maybe I should not use it anymore.
We can talk about that later.
It's okay.
That
Okay.
lady sent me out to say.
Whoever is guiding your bolt is just way too powerful.
He's like, oh, they need to die. Your God is like, oh yeah, they
It's
need to
now,
go.
moral quandaries later.
The god
So-
of vengeance, dog. It's a god of vengeance.
Is Tommy in the room?
Do we hear Tommy singing?
Oh, just what guard, right? According to the.
Was that
Maybe
Tommy?
he doesn't count Tommy as a guard.
I got some bad
Was
news.
oh
Uh,
nuts.
You can hear the marbles as he falls over, rolling on the ground and bouncing into each other. Tommy was not a child. He was an 18-year-old guard.
Ezra's face.
Just blue screen.
Red is just like.
You guys have
Is
done
there
so
is there any
much
sign of
work.
the other guy then? That had given Tommy the original order.
That one you do not see. And
Alright.
based
Walking
on,
in the front
just
door
to
right
clarify, based on what, like, Charles had told you, you gather that he's probably not in that room, or at least Charles didn't think that he was. He only thought there was one guard in there.
All right, I'm gonna do some deep breathing exercises, and then I'm gonna turn to Charles and gesture for him to take us wherever we go next.
Wait, but was she in there? She wasn't in there?
No. We're still on the first floor. We got to go up to the second floor.
Oh,
Yeah, we're like,
gotcha.
the only
Like-
we're in
way
like the foyer or something.
Is it
Gotcha.
like Lamaze style breathing?
out. No, it's more Wusa.
All right.
Charles leads you to a door that looks like it leads into a completely different wing of the house.
How many here? Anybody here?
He kind of like says 3, then he says 4, and like shakes his hand, like he's not completely sure.
Hmm.
Okay. I can
I
help.
don't know if we should try and kill them. Could we try and stick past them?
I think this is the only door. I will say this in Serena's head. I think this is the only door that we have to go through right now.
So no choice but to fight. Hmm,
I suppose so.
okay. 1 second then. And then he's going, well, when he looks at the Charles, he says, oh, give me countdown. I could do something.
Yeah, I'll hold Sacred Flame.
And he
And-
pulls the door open.
And from there, you just see Akara kind of like roll over into like a ninja flip until he's right behind the guards. And then you just see him tilt his head back and then just unleashes a giant fire flame out of his mouth, which is my skill set that I have. The Breath of the Dragon for the 20 feet cone. They have to make, I think, what was it? A dexterity saving throw, which my DC is. Oh, my bad. No, I have-
Celia's not in this room, right?
Huh?
I sure hope she isn't.
Oh yeah. Well, you would look first. You would look first to see. It's first. But as long as he doesn't see her in there, then he will unleash it. But if she sees her in there, then change the plan.
You've got like 5 seconds to tell me what you do instead. She's in the room. How does he react when he sees that?
Oh, she's in the room? Okay, well, she still is going to avoid her then and just attack the 2 individuals in a cone away from her with his fire blast attack.
Okay.
But yeah,
What
they
is
have,
your DC?
DC is 14.
One of them passed, one of them did not.
Okay, so it's just 2 d8s of fire damage. Boop. Okay, 3 and a 2, so that's a 6 points fire damage to those folks. How many people? So those 2 individuals.
So 6 to the 2 that you hit. But 3 to the one who passed.
Yes.
I will make note of that. Okay. There are 4 guards in this room, as well as Lady Celia and 2 children who already looked scared when you bust into the room and now look horrified.
From there, he says, "Stay calm," to the kids, and then he's just going to. Well, are you guys going to attack or? Because I'm presuming.
Yeah, I said I was holding
So
Sacred Flame.
what we're actually going to do is go ahead and roll initiative
Okay.
for this combat, which we will do
No.
on the next
Next
episode
episode.
of It's Our
No!
You jerk.
You
I need
son of a
something else to
bitch.
throw right now.
You did it again,
I'm
Dad.
really enjoying the stealthy bits.
Oh,
It's been a
man.
while since I've played a character so not stealthy, so it's telling me.
The car said fuck stealth, dog.
Oh no.
Once we said 4 guards, it was the only way to get through. I was like, well, looks like we're doing this the hard way.
Somewhere
Oh.
Palpatine is in the back of his voice, back of his mind, going, "Yes, kill it."
Ikara said, first of all, F that click you came with.
Yeah.
That's
The
why I had
entire
dinner
click.
with his
The
Cheerios
entire
this
click.
morning.
Oh man, that was awesome. Well, I hope you all had a great time because I know I did. I definitely believe our players did. It was awesome. Again, if you'd like to talk about the content that you saw here on stream, you can join us at our Discord. Once again, I'll put it in chat so you can ask us any questions. Talk about the episode that you see today. If you missed some of the episode or caught it and came in a bit late, don't worry. We actually have a YouTube channel up where this will be released on Wednesday, and you'll be able to watch it this Wednesday. Or, of course, it'll be available on Twitch for I think like 2 weeks or so. But you will always be able to access a higher quality video on YouTube this Wednesday. So once again, thank you all so much for coming by. We'll look forward to see you all. Well, I will see you all tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Monday for our streams. But we'll all look forward to see you this Saturday for episode 10, the big 1-0 of It's Our World. See you all soon. Farewell for now.